Another match of Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Sorry for the delay. We had a little bit of problems on our end. Going straight off, we have our first boss fight of the game, the tutorial boss, the Behemoth. Very, very possible that either of our runners could die here, and it is completely out of their control.
Yep. You merely attack, and you hope not to miss.
If the Behemoth crits and you miss once, it is over.
Also, if you miss, I believe, 3 times, then it is over.
I believe the Behemoth technically has 98 HP, but you do 25 damage, so you need to hit him 4 times.
Although if you crit, then it counts for, it's about triple damage. And meaning
Fred,
there is a crit!
Fred already go.
And Opus got a miss.
One more hit and he'll get that out of that. Oh!
No, he can afford no more misses.
Already mix it up.
There's a maximum length and a minimum length Behemoth fight.
I thought Fred was going to go with bright pink there for a second. I was excited. Now, before the run even started, we have a glitch we already set up. It's an unavoidable glitch, so we basically just make it in our favor as opposed to working against us. Our partner characters, which we're getting Kaylee right now, they will have resistances and stats based on the armor that the endgame partner has. Which will give us resistance to sleep, paralysis, wind, water, various elements and resistances.
Also, a couple status resistances like paralyze and sleep. In some ways, those status resistances are even more important than the elemental resistances.
Alright, I'm moving into the level forest here. We're going to have 2 battles before the boss. Now, a partner character can be placed on either manual or auto. You'll find that our players are going to be switching between them, depending on the situation. And a very good example is this first battle here. The first round, they'll keep it on auto. Second round, they'll put it on manual. The reason is if they kept it on auto, Kaylee would attack the enemy Benjamin already hit and sort of waste a turn.
Looks like they're both having some pretty good fights here. The main thing that can go wrong in these fights are misses.
Nice crit there, Benjamin.
Oh, as I speak of it, then I curse Opus.
Oh, and the main character's name is Benjamin. So if I say Benjamin, that's who I'm referring to. And the, right, our first actual boss. Sort of, kind of. Weak to the life spell. You cast life on enemy dice.
Although you would normally think of life as instantly killing undead enemies, in this game it's mostly glitched, and while Cure will consistently damage undead enemies, the life spell is not very consistent in what it does and doesn't damage. And it's actually mostly non-undead enemies that get damaged by life, while undead enemies do not. Although there are still some non-undead enemies that do not get damaged by life. And if it does damage it, then it will kill it. Although it can miss.
I wonder if that has to do with the way the heal spell's programmed, because the heal spell basically is just reverse its normal effect when used on enemies.
Possibly.
The heal spell restores all statuses. Use it on an enemy, it'll try to inflict most statuses in the game. Which the players may use on one occasion. I don't think there's anywhere else anybody would use it at.
going through the Bone Dungeon. We're mostly going to see the players choose to run away from any encounter that has 3 enemies, because they're still stuck with mostly single target attacks. The bomb can while the bomb is AoE, it doesn't do enough damage in AoE to kill 2 things. So you see right there, fcoughlin just ran away from the 3-worm formation and got a 2-worm formation instead.
Yep. Any attack that hits multiple enemies reduces in damage the more enemies you hit, and bombs can only be targeted on all enemies. And some of the later spells as well, you'll see that they can only be used on all enemies.
Meanwhile, a couple of things that can go wrong here. Again, Tristram can miss, and he seems to like to do so.
Tristram is the absolute worst. He's the least favorite of pretty much every player in this tournament. He only comes with the life spell, which is useful, but that is the only spell he comes with, and he, yeah, like Silver already said, he likes to miss a lot.
His damage is also lower than the hero's damage at all points in the game. Even when you get him later on in the game and he's level 23 and you're half his level, his damage is still piddling. It's barely increased from this point.
The Minotaur zombie, Fred there actually did very smart at having Tristram defend. Tristram cannot one-shot him without a crit. You can see on Opus' side, Tristram didn't one-shot. So having Tristram defend, it'll basically skip Tristram's turn and allow Benjamin to just get his attack off and just kill a 1-hit.
The other thing they're doing in this dungeon, though, they're not healing, because assuming the fights don't go horribly, you one-round them. And if they do go horribly, it usually means you didn't kill anything on your first turn, and it's just best to run away and start over.
Alright, so players pick up the seeds now. You'll see Fred is going into his items to use the seed, and then leaving out of the battle, running away. It's actually duplicating the seed in his inventory. And so yeah, he just duped 2 seeds. He's probably not even going to bother duping it. No, he just got to dupe a 3rd one, okay. So he has duped 3 seeds at this point. He's pretty much set for the entire game.
Mm-hmm. And basically what happens here is it returns you the seed when you cancel out and run away instead of doing the actions you entered. But it does not actually consume the seed because it doesn't use your seed until you actually take your action.
Opus picking up the Quake spell. That'll be useful in exactly 3 battles in a dungeon coming up.
Mm-hmm.
There's been talk about
there's some new tech now of skipping Quake and using Phoebe's Thunder, and if you do that, then you'll need an extra seed. It looks like fcoughlin did get the extra seed, but I think, did he still get Quake?
He skipped it, but I've seen a lot of players get it on the way out, so it's hard to say yet.
We'll see if he decides to do the 6 seed Quakeless route.
Alright, now the first true boss of the game, the Flamer's Rex. He's got one really terrible move, Rip Earth, where it'll hit both enemies for a lot of damage. It's also a pretty strong single target spell. I forget the name of it. It's the one where the bone goes off to the side and hits you.
Rip Earths are really the ones that mess you up.
Yep.
The other thing is, Tristram will never heal himself manually, no matter how injured he is, because he doesn't have the cure spell, he only has the life spell.
And the life spell is great. It restores you from death, it fully heals you even if you are alive, it will remove all status effects.
Having a really tough time on this fight. He's been getting so many Rip Earths.
Benjamin just can't stay alive over there.
Meanwhile, Opus just barely finishes off. He did have to have Tristram heal himself.
9:35 is a really good time.
Yeah, that was an extremely, like, sub 10 is extremely good for Flamer's Rex.
I'm afraid Fred's gonna run out of life spells.
It's not frequent, but he is not... He just hit 50% HP based on the sprite of Flamer's Rex. Okay, it looks like he got a couple good hits in after that. So, 25% HP on Flamer's Rex. He looks stable for now. I think he'll be okay. Looks like he's going to try and go for the kill without rezzing.
I think dangerous.
He's out of cure. I think he's out of cures anyway, so the utility of rezzing is reduced. But okay, this is really dangerous. Tristan, don't miss.
Tristan, please.
Oh no.
Benjamin, please.
Oh
sweet.
My goodness.
Oh, that was really close.
Wow. He's not dead.
I'm pretty sure there's about a 0% chance Benjamin goes.
And that's a sub
Rex.
11. That's still a very solid Flamer's Rex time. I would say sub 11 is good and sub 10 is extremely good.
Yeah, generally speaking. On the way out, you're going to see Opus taken in this screen. There is a shield we grab on the way out. It actually increases our defense and it increases our speed by a little bit, which is very useful. The main reason we don't get it before the boss fight is because we would have to backtrack on this very screen to come get it. It's just a lot of time.
Yeah, you don't have bombs yet when you walk past this area the first time.
Looks like Fred is skipping quick. You don't have it.
Okay, so he's going to try the new route that some DDR noob just recently developed. In essence, you're using Thunder in place of Quake, and then you're using the extra seed that you duped to cover for those extra Thunders.
He may have decided to just go for that since he got 3 triple battles in a row.
That would make sense. I think I would probably try to do the same. An advantage of this is you actually end up saving a little bit of time because Quake has an extremely long animation time. And that's mostly where the time save comes from, is that you're not casting this slow spell, you're instead casting a spell that animates more quickly.
Nice little shortcut right here. No such thing exists anywhere else in this run. It's just that one spot.
At least none that actually get involved in the speedrun. There's a few other secret passages in the game.
Yes, I think Firebird's a notable one, going to the heal potion.
Yeah, if you actually mess up your inventory glitch, which they'll be attempting later on in the game, if they sequence their inventory incorrectly, they can actually correct it there by using the treasures in Fireberg and the secret passage.
Oh yeah, so we didn't talk about that at all. So when they were in the Bone Dungeon, they picked up seeds, and they picked up cure potions, and they picked them up in a specific order. We need our inventory to be exact.
Yep, seeds need to be the first one, which is why they passed the cure potions on the way in, but then got it on the way out. And this will allow them to do an inventory underflow later on in the game to skip the entire fire crystal quadrant of the game.
Yeah, we don't want to hang out with Ruben, I think is what it essentially boils down to. Skip his entire section. And now coming into the Wintry Cave, a lot of these enemies will be one-shot by fire on all 3 enemies.
Yep, and you'll usually see a Phoebe on auto will generally cast AoE fire, unless the enemies are of different types, in which case they'll have to manually input the fire. Heals and refresher. I believe you have to change how you do the rest of it if you missequence your heals and refreshers, but it is still possible.
Opus taking this opportunity to dupe seeds.
Uh-oh. I don't think this sequence that Opus did will actually beat this. I think he forgot that Phoebe does not yet have the Bow of Grace.
Yep. After this battle, the claw that Phoebe has will be in Benjamin's inventory, and it will be replaced with the bow. And the bow is very good.
So he'll have to heal up from that damage that he took that fight. A little bit of a loss, but he's still got about a 3-battle lead on fcoughlin.
Now, if any of these battles are a mix between the hedgehogs and the scorpions, you can see on the right side here, he will have to manually cast fire, or else it will not. She will not automatically use it on all three. Just the way
and this one with the
AI
frog is actually the most annoying one in here because you actually have to have Fred attack. And sometimes you'll even see someone switch off of bombs because bombs has a much slower attack animation than all of the other melee weapons. I tend to use claw for that because you're already on it from the climb.
I usually switch over to bombs because I don't want it to miss.
That's true, bombs never miss.
Bombs never miss, bombs never crit. You can be blind, you still won't miss. Oh, Mage's wishing bad luck on the Opus.
Should probably ask what people think that they're gonna get. So now that Phoebe has the bow, she can actually one-shot an enemy with a basic attack, and that'll let Benjamin clean up the other two with his spell that hits their weakness.
Centaurs can be a little problematic. Generally speaking,
you don't have enough speed yet to outspeed them, and if they confuse Ben, then everything can go horribly because he hasn't finished them off yet.
Typically speaking, I've noticed that they will first try to riddle Phoebe. I don't think I've ever seen them target Benjamin first.
Yeah, it does seem to be that way. I think I've seen it, but it seems like they favor Phoebe, and I wonder if there's like some kind of bias there. He just got a strike first on this one, so there's no risk of getting outspeeded this time by the 3 centaur. This is largely due to the fact that Phoebe has endgame equipment, so her stats are actually a little higher than they normally would be as well.
I believe with Opus's route, I believe he's going to want to seed when there are 2 more non-boss encounters on the next floor. That's going to be when he seeds. I don't know Fred's seed routes because I haven't done it myself.
Fred's seed route, he should seed right after this battle, if I remember correctly. Because he needs the thunder for this next worm fight. Yep, there it is.
Opus taking his seed 1 battle early. He still had a thunder charge.
Really?
He did.
That's a bit of a mistake then. Oh, he just duped it to cover that.
He had a strike first, too.
It's hard to run away from these birds if you don't. But it's also, like, it's a great time save, because Ben usually gets outsped by these birds. They're quite fast. And Ben does not have much speed yet. In fact, he never really has much speed. He just consistently gets more and more likely to be outsped as the run goes on. So now there's only a 2 encounter difference. That this is where the dividends from the Quake route start, or the Quakeless route start paying off, because those faster encounters also the little mishap that Opus had with needing to dupe an extra seed there.
Right, going into the Squidite, that's his name, Squidite boss fight. It typically opens the same way you've handled every battle before this, Thunder and Bomb. Take out the 2 ads. Yep. And then after
Looks
that...
like Opus is continuing to use Thunders on the Squid, though.
I wonder if that was a mistake.
It's frequent to, no, it looks like it's in... Oh, no, there it is. He switches back.
Generally speaking, players will just have Phoebe attack, because she does a lot of damage, and
it's
there's not much threat of her dying.
Yeah, it's pretty close to her thunder damage anyway, especially because projectile weapons in this game seem to have a very high crit rate. both Phoebe and Tristram have a pretty high crit rate.
I'm hoping for a Squid-Eyed killing himself with a drain one of these days.
Yeah, it's not especially likely because
It's 53 damage.
yeah, it's just 53 damage, but I guess it's possible, probably. Why is fcoughlin using the axe instead of the bomb?
He might be in snow crab
He's
mode.
fishing. Yeah, he's also fishing for crits a little bit. Maybe just
Well, the bomb's already do
expecting him to
200
die.
damage or so. I'm confused why he's doing that myself.
Yeah, I think he might be in snow crab mode. You're probably right.
The next boss of the game is the snow crab, and it is weak to axe attacks. So.
Oh, and he went to auto because he wanted Phoebe to unblind herself, but she prioritizes lifing the hero before unblinding herself. And then she'll cast a thunder, and that's also unfortunate. That seemed like a low thunder. Oh, it must have been because of her magic stat being reduced. So it was kind of a messy squid fight, but he didn't get any really, really awful RNG, like a crit on Phoebe.
I say Opus, the entire reason was to the Winter Cave, so we can get the crest to teleport into this area here to get the water that isn't there.
Yep, and then Phoebe gets depressed again. And then you get a small vial of the water instead of getting an entire pond full of it.
Surely this will fix everything.
And then surely this will work. And this is actually a cutscene where they take control away from you until Phoebe goes and rescues one plant from the entire town.
It's just a big leaf.
So there is one route with 4 seeds where you actually use the in there and as you're walking out. But you only need that if you only do 1 additional seed.
So in the area Opus is in now, I forget the name of it. You got this sort of block puzzle. You push them in certain locations, you can jump over them. The players are going to set them up in a certain way. We're basically going to skip the entire right side of the area, other than to get the block over there.
Yeah, they give you 3 blocks, even though they planned that, their version of the puzzle only needs 2 blocks to solve. And there's a better solution that uses all 3 blocks that we'll be using here, and it avoids 2 fights in the back area of the waterfall basin.
It's like they don't expect you to go grab the block you already used. Lami is weak to Thunder. Thunder will take him out. That battle can sometimes come with another Desert Hag, and you'll have to have Benjamin bomb that. Or, I guess any other weapon will be fine.
Yeah, literally any weapon, because the Thunder leaves it really low.
Now, the seed route I'm used to, you would use seed after this Lamia fight. It would just be right before this crab battle.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like he left himself with 2 Thunders remaining. Or did he just have to use a Thunder now? Or a seed? I didn't see if he used a seed already.
He hasn't used one.
Okay, so he's probably at 0 Thunders right now. And so that's why he was okay with using 1 Thunder on the squid.
I guess that makes sense, because usually I end up with some Thundercats left over once I get into the pyramid.
Oh no, he's not seeding here. Interesting. I didn't see if he had any Thunders remaining. Oh no, I think he seeded when he was in town, so he has 3 Thunders here.
Yeah, and there you see Opus putting the axe on Benjamin, casting Thunder.
The crab is actually weak to the axe for whatever reason, but also Ben tends to take a dirt nap in this fight because he's not resistant to water yet, and you also don't have the helmet that you could potentially buy in the town, so your defense is pretty low. And he can hit you for most of your life. If not all of it, if he crits.
If you're level 7, good luck. You don't have enough health to live through the attack.
Yeah, you literally just get one shot even just by a basic attack at level 7, but Phoebe can handle this fight on her own, really.
It's
a
hard,
lot more risky than the squid fight because he can confuse Phoebe. Which is why he didn't just leave Phoebe at low health and try to finish off the crab, because that confusion could just wreck everything and have to start the whole fight over. Which would have put him back and tied with fcoughlin, because that's not a short fight.
It's a nice pyramid. Very long dungeon. You can't see the encounters. There's a key item to the right of the start area which would let you see them, but there's no point.
For the most part, there aren't any encounters in this area that are in tricky locations, though. It's mostly, It's like, I want to get this optional treasure chest. Well, you're going to have to fight an invisible enemy for it, so you're not going to go get that optional treasure chest.
Yeah, typically they'll either be
looks
in
like
tight
corridors.
corridors.
having had a bit of an issue with the confusion there, but looks like Phoebe snapped out of it before he had to cast a heal on her, which is why you really want to make sure you pick up that heal spell that's right next to the crab before you fight him.
Most players experience a lot of misses with that axe. The downside to the axe is that it can miss. The upside is that it can crit.
And fcoughlин's almost done with his crab fight, but Ben is confused and attacks anyway to finish it off. Very nice. Bit of a lucky finish there that the confused Ben still attacked the enemy with his axe instead of, like, doing something harmful. And you see they're going to grab the third item there for their consumables inventory, which is the refreshers. And later on this dungeon, they'll grab the heal potions. And that order will allow for them to, when they underflow their inventory, it's going to place certain key items in their inventory based on what they are, what order things are in. Which is why they want them in this order, because they want to get the sun coin off of that, which will give them access to Windia without having done the fire crystal.
Another example of an enemy that is vulnerable to life for some reason.
Yep.
We'll take advantage of it. Because they're not weak to fire or thunder, I don't think. And
they can be one-shot by a single target fire, but life does have a faster animation, and you do actually start running pretty low on fires if you use too many of them on the sphinxes here.
Right.
Interestingly, these squids right next to it cannot be affected by life, I think because they inherit the life immunity from like the instant kill immunity from the squid boss. Most recolors in this game will have a lot of the same status immunities.
And moves, which will be a problem later. Looking at you, Dolahan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got this, Teef. You got this. I believe in you.
Oh, is he? Are you running your own alongside them?
He's running his own beside us, yeah.
That's always fun to do against a race. And you'll see some strategic use of Phoebe defending here as well against like those beholders, or not beholders, whatever they're called.
Gathers.
Gathers. Because Phoebe's attack isn't necessary to clear them out in one round. So you'll have her defend mostly just to eliminate the animation time, but also it redirects all attacks to Phoebe, and nothing targeted or AoE attacks will not hit the hero. And then because they're weak against bombs, the hero one-shots them both.
Yep, and right after the snow crab fight, Phoebe gave us upgraded bombs.
It's like fcoughlin, or Opus is having a bit of a tricky time here with Ben sitting around petrified. He could actually cast an AoE fire here and it'd kill both. Even though the mage is full health,
yes,
because the mage is weak to fire. But I guess either he didn't know that or he didn't think of that at the time.
I also don't know what he's sitting at as far as fire charges go.
He should be fine.
I don't think it's a particular issue. He hasn't been using it a lot, so.
Yeah, using fires on those fights is usually why I tend to run very low. Like, I run out of fires on thunders at almost the same time. Oh, Phoebe got confused, it seems, so she didn't cast the AoE fire that she was supposed to.
The Desert Hex can outspeed Phoebe?
Oh no, she was blinded, and so she healed herself from the blind instead of casting an offensive spell. That's what it was. You can see here how powerful her bow really is against things that are weak to it. She can crit for over 1400 damage.
Yeah, that's like endgame damage. Using the strongest spells in the game. Well, more like arrow damage.
Yeah, it's certainly late game damage. Most of the damage in this game comes from the base damage of spells, and less comes from your stats. Which is partially why the hero can remain relevant even though he's massively underleveled all game.
Yep, though our level will matter in a couple different occasions.
It will.
So far, we've just cared about having more health.
And you care about the extra speed. Although in particular, for more health, if you're not level 11 by the time you hit Ice Golem, you can be in a bit of trouble because he can kill you much more. He can kill you in 2 hits instead of 3, because most of his things will do around 200 damage. You'll see them intentionally jump down here, first for the heal potions, and second for the noble armor that gives you water resistance here.
And
you can
third,
theoretically... Oh, I just saw that petrify into death from fcoughlin. And third, you need to go through this on the way out to have a shortcut on the way out.
And Phoebe's not going to be with you, so
And
you
Phoebe
would have 2 fights to do alone.
Opus chose not to use a thunder on this fight. Interesting. You can thunder bomb to clear that out in 1 round, but
Yeah, I didn't know that when I first started playing either.
tight. It is certainly tight on thunders to do so.
He is free to use his last seed at this point.
I believe he did.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to use your last seed until you've grabbed that chest with the heal potion. But once you're in that room, then you grab the heal potion and it's okay to use your last seed. And you'll have an open slot in your inventory as the first consumable slot, which is important. And we'll get to that later when they activate the inventory glitch, which will be a few minutes after they finish with the pyramid dungeon. Here.
You can see Fred doing the thunder on the right. And yeah, it's confusion on Phoebe. I'm not sure if it's the level that prioritizes it, because I also noticed that later on in Pazuzu's Tower, all of the blinds at the beginning of the dungeon seem to always be focused on Kaylee, but by the end of it, sometimes they'll target Benjamin.
I definitely see Benjamin getting targeted sometimes. fcoughlin doesn't seem to be aware of quite what he wants. Oh, I see what happened. Phoebe got petrified.
A resident world record holder asking how to play this game.
You play this game by not having a lot of tasting games. And you mash really fast. The frame difference between Life Fire is a little... I don't know what the frame difference is, but Life is certainly faster. The difference is that Life can miss, and it's based on their accuracy stat, which goes up as they gain at higher levels. It's a little more common to use Life aggressively later on in the game as a result.
Man, nobody must like playing this game.
Yeah, that's why we torture ourselves by entering a tournament for it.
I like playing this game.
I like playing this game, but I don't like what this game does to me sometimes.
I don't like what Zoo does to me.
Yeah, this game is really menuing and math. Like, as much as people say that it's all about RNG, like, for example, the pyramid here, there's almost no RNG in the entire pyramid. For the most part, you outspeed except one round all of the enemies, with a few exceptions like these jerk birds. And it really, what it comes down to is, like, executing correctly every fight as fast as possible, so that you're executing that finished battle in one round set, not giving the enemy the opportunity to mess you up.
Ice Golem fight here on Opus' side. Pick up the Noble Armors, so we have the water resistance. And he has 6,500 health, I believe. Each round, if you have a bomb and a fire go off, that is 1,000 damage, roughly.
Yep. When he gets, I believe, around like 30% health or so, he can do an AoE attack that is, it's an ice attack that targets all three members of the battle, so it heals himself while damaging you.
Ooh, Benjamin
You
with
just
4
saw
health.
it right there.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
not
that was
level 11. He's not level 11.
He's not level 11. I'm impressed Ben survived that. It looks like he's not too concerned about Ben's survival and is just going for Phoebe, getting as aggressive as possible with those fires until Ben actually drops.
You need to be careful because that water attack will do bonus damage to Phoebe if she's alone.
It's true. Because it's an AoE effect. And like we saw elsewhere, AoE effects are divided between all targets. But there's where that 400 instead of 440 health really hurts you. As you saw, he just dropped below half health from a single hit. And there it is. That's a
wow. That is an amazing Ice Golem time.
Ice Golem time. fcoughlin's only 3 fights away. Still those same 3 encounters behind Opus, though, so he's keeping up. There's just the 2 more Sphinx fights, which are just a quick Thunder Bomb. Although he has to remember to seed after this. We will see if fcoughlin hits level 11 off this battle, and usually it is off this last battle that you hit it.
Yes, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest was the first Final Fantasy that Europe got, and it was titled Mystic Quest Legend, I believe.
fcoghlin's also not level 11, wow. I'm not really sure what happened to the XP. Oof. Getting dropped to 21 health on the first round. And then killed.
I'm sure he's fine.
Fred and Opus, who do you root for? Well, if you like rooting for the underdog, I would say root for fcoghlin. He's a little newer to the game. Opus has been around for a while.
So Fred is improved very rapidly.
Fred is definitely improved rapidly, given that he started learning this game a few weeks ago.
Alright, here's the one battlefield we fight through in the speed run.
There's all these optional battlefields in the game, and in the any % run, you fight exactly one of them. It gives you the exit spell. People who've played pretty much any Final Fantasy game can probably easily figure out why an exit spell would save you enough time to be worth fighting a bunch of fights for.
On top
furthermore,
of that,
yep, I'll let you take it.
On top of that, the exit spell can be used in battle to exit an enemy. It instantly kills them. You don't get the experience from it, but it instantly kills them. And
oh no! fcoughlin dropped to Ice Golem.
But
oh, and then
it's Benjamin's instant kill spell, and we'll get a lot of use out of it.
So that's a really rough time loss. He was looking to have a pretty good Ice Golem time until that happened.
I forgot to have chat guess how many Sphinxes that our players are going to get. I think he's only gotten one so far.
We'll just have to get them to guess what floor Pazuzu will be on. Omega's exit saves literally 5 years.
That's about right.
Yeah, it sounds accurate. I can't deny it. I've never played a run without exit. But you would have to do things such as walk from floor 7 of Pazuzu's tower down to floor 1 and out to the building.
Oh god.
But it is also so fast that there's like 10 steps away to, like, you know, you're in the in Otto's house in Windia, and instead of walking outside his house and walking into another building, you will instead cast exit and then walk from the start of town to the other building.
There is one problem that comes with the exit spell.
Oh
and
no,
that it is
fcoughlin just dropped again.
Oh no. The one problem with exit is that it is in the first spell slot on the spell screen.
Yes, because
it can be very easy to accidentally exit.
Because they organized their spell menu interestingly. But yeah, Fred is having some real trouble on Ice Golem here. And that 400 health certainly isn't helping. There's actually been at least one death that's been directly attributed to that, I would say. And it's hard to say what has been indirectly attributed to it because of just like trying to fight through a fight with less safeties than you're used to.
Yeah, meanwhile, trying to put her to sleep.
Meanwhile, we have Opus about to head up to Fireburg to do the inventory overflow glitch that we were referring to earlier, or rather underflow. We will see him walk up to the shop merchant, buy 0 seeds, and then use those 0 seeds that are now in his inventory for whatever reason. It looks like fcoghlin's going for it, and he made the judgment call to go for the kill there, and it worked.
And I see Opus using his last seed. He hadn't used it yet. Now he's going to go in here, buy 0 seeds. For some reason, it puts into your inventory 0 seeds. It's the best part.
And then you decrement 0, and you get 255.
You underflow that, and for some reason, it also affects the slots next to it, which gives us sky coins for some reason.
It gives you sky coins because the last bit there ends up touching the next slot. So because there's only supposed to be, I think, 7 bits that are actually for quantity because you're not supposed to get over 99. And so it writes something into the item ID slot on the next slot over, which is what changes them in the sky coins, which means there's not a place in your inventory for cure potions. And because there's not a place in your inventory for cure potions, you then talk to the other woman, you buy 19 cure potions, and it writes some stuff into the key items section of your inventory. Because there's no... It tries to go into the 5th slot of your inventory, which is actually the key items area.
And as RPGC usually says, it also puts a sandwich in your pocket.
It also puts a sandwich in your pocket, or a Venus key.
And that sandwich is now on the floor.
I see. Oh, I see what she's... Okay, I get it. Because a Reuben is a sandwich.
Let's go check on her sandwich. 5 seconds. Bye.
Yeah, it's been more than 5 seconds. Goodbye, sandwich. We'll get another one later.
Unfortunately, Tristram shows up.
And then Tristram shows up. And, he does not have enough damage to one-shot the mummies in this next area.
He doesn't have enough damage.
He does not even have enough damage to two-shot the mummies in this area.
Unless he crits. That one-shots him.
Yeah, if he crits, it actually one-shots.
2 mummies is a good fight. You see, he's actually defending Benjamin with Tristram, because Tristram is absolutely useless in this fight.
I should do that. Oh, Tristram got petrified, which is actually pretty dangerous.
That's fine. That's fine.
Why is fcoughlin using the Knight Sword here, I wonder?
I've seen a lot of people doing that. I don't know if your speed is exactly what's determined if you get a first strike or an unexpected attack or not. Like, see, you didn't have the sword out, you got unexpected. I don't know if that directly affects that or not.
I don't know. Elmagus might, if he wants to speak up in chat, but I think that's the case. Oh, he fought the Sphinx? I wasn't paying attention.
I was also not paying attention. Too busy talking about how bad Tristram is.
And there, Tristram on auto decides not to attack the enemy that is vulnerable to his attacks, but instead attacks the enemy that he can't even two-shot.
I would show up at the Deku tree, and I forget who was saying it, but we're not scary enough for him. We gotta go get somebody who's scarier. Somebody with a big axe.
Yeah, so Kayleigh's been taking a power nap, and so she was level 3 45 minutes ago. She will now be level 31.
But first we gotta take our garbage to the dump.
That's right. And we drop them off in the bottom of a cave somewhere. And then we'll take the claw that he had stolen from us earlier.
Kayleigh's character is amazing. She's the character, she loves nature, can talk to trees, and has a huge axe. One of these things don't belong.
She also is the only character that gives you a hug, or for that matter, has any special animations besides the hero.
Alright, so here we have Spencer. We've totally talked to him before.
I didn't know you could hop that water gap.
Yeah.
I always walk down to that little bridge. Shows you how much attention I pay.
Tristram gives us the claw he stole from us in the beginning of the game. Phoebe shows up, shows us how to use bombs. This is how you use bombs, guys.
Yeah, let's go collapse this cave. And then she'll, after triggering a collapse in the cave, she just runs out without even saying anything to you.
No time for talking. And just dips.
Fred died twice to Ice Golem, was his bad RNGs. He was 3 fights behind going into Ice Golem, and then he died 2 times, and now he's really far behind.
I need to actually play through the game casually to read the story again. How did Kayleigh get here?
So her dad is the one that's in the ship down there.
Right.
that they're trying to save by digging this cave to let the water down there to refill the basin.
Right.
And I think she, like, came up here after you melted the ice pyramid to check on what's going on. I don't know why I can remember the plot for this game that I haven't actually played casually for years.
Alright, so she made it through the focus tower, made it up there, and then decided to continue.
Because you left the door open for her.
Okay. I hope Fred heals. I hope for. Thank you, Fred.
Yeah, if you can actually get soft locked in this fight, or not technically soft locked, but very close to it, if you go into it with low health, because there's only one. The mummy will always outspeed you, and there's only one move that he can do that doesn't at least damage you.
And he equipped the sword, which is pretty smart. There is a small chance you can outspeed that mummy with the sword equipped.
With the sword, but it is tiny.
We never mentioned the sword gives +5 speed. The knight's sword. The knight's sword.
The claw gives +5 magic.
Yep.
Any claw. So you'll frequently see them switch to claw if they either are on a boss fight, where multiple applications of a bit of extra damage can matter, or if there's certain fights they need the slight damage bump to just barely kill the enemy.
The encounter on the left actually is an example. However, Opus is still level 11. If Opus was level 12, he could equip the claw, and an arrow multicast will kill 2 mummies.
Yep. Although you'll actually never be level 12 for that first mummy fight, the triple mummy fight. The one in the tree you usually are, so we'll probably see that coming up. Axe doesn't actually add anything, but some enemies are weak to it. I don't think there's any enemies that are weak to the sword. The claw has some status effects that it can add.
Right.
I mean, the axe does have really high attack, but I mean, like, the best axe still has less attack than Excalibur. Although, theoretically, I think you can fight 2 additional fights here to go get the, it's actually the same axe Kaylee has. And Kaylee is just entirely unconcerned that the hero drops and is just like, don't worry, I'll finish off these enemies. So we're seeing a bit of a high five here, although one of them is on their first trip and the other is on their second. It is the giant's axe, that is correct.
Alright. So Opus actually could have done the single cast, double cast, but I think it's just 2 multicasting. Which is a little dangerous, but he made it through.
Yeah, it basically means that there are 3 mummy turns trying to mess you up instead of 2, and he did take a petrify as one of those, but once again, Kelly just cleans up the fight, no problem. You can actually get up on the trees with the warp tiles. Or rather, it's, sort of. You can get, like, behind them or whatever. There's a pot room inside the tree with the same warp tile in it.
Well, the tree is a very maze-like dungeon. You got a claw shot across all over the place. Every room looks the same, pretty much. There's about a million different ways you can go, so very easy to get lost in here.
It is a little easy to get lost if you're not familiar with it, but once you're familiar with it, it's pretty, like, it's pretty apparent to go the right way.
Most of the time, you just go left.
Yeah, pretty much. Just kind of go left and then climb up a thing when you see one.
In this dungeon, there'll also be our first enemies that will reflect magic. It'll be the slime enemies, whatever they're called.
Fortunately, they're weak to bombs, but unfortunately, Kaylee does not one-shot them with her axe. We have a big part of RNG here, actually, are these leech fights. You can either get 2 leeches, which Kaylee can one-shot with arrow, both of them at the same time, or you can get 3 leeches, which she cannot. And if you get 3 leeches, you can either choose to single target them down, or you can just go for 2 AoE arrows and hope that Ben survives long enough to cast his arrow.
Yeah, I usually go with double arrows myself and have the sword equipped. Sometimes he can outspeed one. The main reason I do that is I like the experience. I definitely want to be level 16 before Gintra. No. Save your goon kids. We're not there yet. Save your goon kids.
We're not a goon kid. We don't get that until after we clear this dungeon.
And that's goon kid, space between the N and K with 2 exclamations at the end. Very important.
So it's a 75% chance to, in this room, it's a 75% chance to get the 2 worms, 25% chance to get 3. So he had pretty average RNG there. Pretty much when you're playing this game, average RNG is completely acceptable to you. In this next room, however, there's an additional formation that's particularly bad, which is Worm Ooze. You cannot AoE that one down because, as we mentioned earlier, the Ooze has innate Reflect Magic.
And one strategy you can use on that is the Dragon's Claw that we have has a chance of petrification. So sometimes some of the players will single target the Ooze with the Dragon Claw in hopes that that will hit. And if not, then you can just bomb them the next turn. And Fred on the right side, he actually left Focus Tower and then came back in for this spell.
Yeah, and it allows you to quick exit right here like he's doing, and not have to walk back out. It is slightly faster. I'm actually surprised Opus didn't do that.
I've seen so many different ways of getting arrow at this point. I've seen, I think it was Penguin Ninja. He just did it with Tristan.
I think Tristan, his auto is a little more effective on the battle than Kaylee's. Kaylee will not do the right thing on that battle. Ooh, Kaylee got a miss there on this particularly bad formation.
It's mostly okay. You talking about Opus' screen?
Yeah, Opus' screen.
I would say you should bomb there, because a bomb single target against the user will kill it.
Well, it doesn't matter when Ben dies anyway. Kaylee does do the right thing. She does not do the right thing very often, though. Because anytime a formation is remotely confusing, she'll just be like, I'll single target arrow that thing. Or I'll axe this other thing that doesn't die to my axe. Worms, she's actually pretty good about favoring her axe for because it does like a bazillion damage.
What are you talking about? Axe is always the correct answer. Except when she misses.
It's actually pretty bad RNG. Her accuracy is pretty high at level 31, unlike at level 3.
Does it actually go up? I've never checked her stats.
It does. It's like 90 something at this point.
That is pretty good.
I don't think it arrows jellies, but it can occasionally arrow a beholder even though it has reflect.
I've had her arrow Pazuzu.
She will, she'll arrow Pazuzu while Psych Shield is up. If it's the turn that Psych Shield's supposed to go down. But she outspeeds Pazuzu. She also have to be careful about manually inputting an arrow there when you expect Psych Shield to go down. Because she can outspeed Pazuzu. Interesting thing about these tree enemies at the beginning of the tree section. They are level 1 because they're the same level as the trees that you fight in level forest. That we don't actually fight, but you could fight in level forest. Therefore,
really?
you always get strike firsts against them.
I never knew that. Was really funny.
Yeah, that's why you always get a strike first against these trees. You can see it on fcoughlin screen right now. Don't be like some DDR noob and accidentally fall off of this little claw puzzle that Opus is doing right now.
I'm surprised somebody as good as he made that mistake.
I think he's only made it once, but it was the other day, and he got a sub 2 without a floor 6, which was an impressive run, despite having those kind of mistakes. Here we have some of those ooze fights without accompaniment of the worms.
Oh, beautiful.
And here's where we really see the bombs coming in, because you know, they can drain Kaylee and they take damage instead of Kaylee taking damage.
That is the only instance.
It actually allowed him. It's the only way to one-round that fight. Otherwise, you have to wait for Kaylee's second axe hit. Also, the first sight of these skeletons, arrow wrecks them.
Yeah, as long as there's 2 of them, you're fine. 3 of them is scary.
Yeah, the very last fight in the tree, you will have 3 of them, and they have some nasty status effects. They have a Confuse and a Doom Gaze. Doom Gaze being a fairly low chance of a one-shot.
Slime City. A room full of slimes. Pretty much.
Meanwhile, fcoghlin's in Ooze City that we were talking about before, which is one of the bigger RNG points in the tree.
Worm City. You said Ooze.
Yeah, Worm. Did I say Ooze City? I thought I said Worm City.
Yeah, well, whatever. Doesn't matter.
I don't know what I said. Don't trust what I said. Yeah, Opus is actually almost done with the tree. It's a bit long, but it does end, I promise.
It feels like the longest dungeon in the game, even including Pazuzu's Tower.
I think it has more fights than a floor 6 Pazuzu does.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's definitely the longest split on my splits.
It depends on if you have a split for entering the tree or at any point, or if your last split before it is getting exit spell.
That is how I have it set up.
Enter tree to finishing Gidra, I have a 15-minute-ish. Which is a little longer than Ice Pyramid, but a little shorter than my best segment for Pazuzu's Tower. However, I think the fights in Pazuzu's Tower are slower.
Oh, definitely.
There aren't very many fights there are very few fights in Pazuzu's Tower that you can one round, whereas a lot of the fights in here you can one round through some way or another. Especially these double worm fights again. And it's a little bit RNG-ish, and a little bit depends on how much you use exit in the tree, whether you'll hit level 16 before you fight Gidra. And if you do hit level 16, it's very beneficial, because there's actually, if Kaylee gets petrified and then you go to heal her, and Gidra uses Quake, if you're level 16, you'll survive. And you'll get your heal off on Kaylee and continue the fight. If you are level 15, you will die.
Yep, that's the main reason why I personally do everything I can to get level 16 before that fight. Plus, it helps for Mount Gale.
Yeah, also, if you have level 16 Mount Gale, you'll have an extra shot of the Meteor spell that we'll be picking up after they clear the tree.
Well, that's not the main reason I like it. The main reason I like for Mount Gale is you can equip the sword. You no longer need the claw.
Oh, really? I didn't realize you needed the claw at level 15.
Yep.
Okay. Like you, I tend to try to make sure I hit level 16 for Ghidra. And even if I fail to get that, then generally the Ghidra XP hits level 16. If you tried, yes, you get no effect if you attempt to exit or life something that can reflect magic. Ooh, that's a rough miss from Kaylee, and then Kaylee gets petrified. This triple frog fight is going really poorly for fcoughlin.
I'd almost say he should have just run away from that.
There's a chance he could get through it.
As long as he doesn't get petrified, he should be fine. Or paralyzed. I forgot about paralyzed.
I think you spoke too soon.
I'm sorry, Fred. I'm sorry. This is all my fault.
This is terrible.
I'm so sorry.
This is worse than just wiping. Because he's like stringing you along for an extra 30 seconds before you actually like. Meanwhile, we have Opus entering the Ghidra fight. It takes 8 arrows to kill Ghidra.
That's good to know.
He's only level 15, so he does have those risks I was talking about. But for the most part, the main thing you need to watch out on this fight is if Kaylee gets petrified. And by watch out, I mean the thing that will really screw you over.
Yeah.
Speak of the devil. Oh, it's a double petrify. There's really nothing you can do about that, even if you are level 16, that'll get you.
Now, if the resistance list did not exist, Kaylee would actually have petrification resistance here.
Correct,
however, she would not have paralysis resistance.
She wouldn't have paralysis resistance. She also wouldn't have wind resistance. Which would mean that the wind attack from Ghidra would hit quite hard. Likewise, the wind attack from Pazuzu would hit quite hard. fcoghlin's just finally finishing up this triple frog fight.
Wow, Ghidra, please.
Oh, it looks like he managed to resolve that that heal spell without wiping.
Yeah, if Kaylee ever gets petrified and you're not at full health, you've pretty much lost the battle.
Alright, 4 more arrows to go. When that first head drops. When the second head drops, it's 2 to go. Alright, so he probably will just go for it here and be almost guaranteed, because Kaylee is actually the fastest character that you get in any percent. Partially because she has the bonus speed from the resistance glitch. And here is Goon Kid! Spelled in the trees in the background.
And if we had beaten Firebug, the clouds wouldn't be there, and we'd have a walking tree. It looks really funny.
Let's get some Goon Kids in chat.
Now, before we leave the dungeon, we can exit at this point, but however, there is, when we beat Ghidra, all of the monsters in the dungeon go away. And there is one spell that we didn't grab on the way through, because it'd be so many extra battles to get it. It is the Meteor spell, the second strongest spell in the game.
It is also, unfortunately, the slowest animation in the game.
Yeah. There's actually going to be a fight later on where players will choose between Arrow and Meteor is stronger, but so much longer.
It's funny because Arrow's not exactly a fast animation either.
Right.
I like these variations on Goon Kid. Because it's not goofy enough as it is. And so we have Opus gonna head up to Windia. He's actually gonna buy some of the things that you can get in Windia and use the Mobius crest that he also happened to glitch into his inventory at the same time that he glitched the Sun Coin and Sky Coin. And this will allow him to go get the Mega Grenades. He also gets the Cupid Locket, which gives, I believe, Silence Resistance, Paralysis Resistance, and Confusion Resistance.
That sounds... blind... Is blind on there?
Oh, and Blind Resistance. I think Blind Resistance is from that. I know that he does become immune to blind, but I don't know if that's the Cupid Locket or something else.
All I know is that the Noble Armor gives water resistance. That's literally all I know.
Noble Armor also gives poison resistance.
Okay. I can never keep all of the equipment straight.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what any of the other equipments give that you only get in 100%. Although the helmet I know is the source of fire resistance.
I take that back. I know what Aegis Shield gives you. I'm well acquainted with that at this point.
Petrify and Paralysis. Yeah, that's a good point. So we have him entering Mount Gale here. Every encounter formation in this dungeon can be dealt with a single target arrow from Kaylee and a meteor from the hero.
And since he does have Benjamin up to level 16, he doesn't even need to equip the claw, as I mentioned before.
Yep.
So there is a slight chance he'll outspeed some of the enemies. It's not very likely, but...
And we see that Cupid Locket already paying its dividends on the very first fight. They attempt to confuse the hero, and he's just like, no. I'm just gonna throw rocks at you. Actually see fcoughlin run away from the Leech Ooze fight in favor of the Triple Leech special.
Not a bad idea.
It's not a terrible idea. It's one of 3 possible formations, so you're not too likely to get trolled by it repeatedly.
Why does the menu sound like the coin sound from Mario Land? The only answer I can give that would even count as an answer for that is that the developers of this game basically stated that this is basically them making a Game Boy game for the Super Nintendo.
It is actually a bunch of the several of the Saga developers worked on this game, and they were responsible for the Final Fantasy Legend series on the Game Boy,
which is the Saga series. Just got
which became the Saga series, or rather, I believe in Japanese it was even the Saga series, right?
Right. Yeah. No, it got renamed to Final Fantasy Legend for stateside
marketing purposes.
Exactly.
Because they didn't tell us anything else about those games. So at least if they stick Final Fantasy on it, we'll at least know what to expect out of it.
Same with Seiken Densetsu 1, which was Final Fantasy Adventure.
Although that one was a lot less Final Fantasy-ish.
Though I believe in Europe, that game was called Mystic Quest. To make things even more confusing.
And then this one was what, Mystic Quest Legend?
Correct.
I'm confused.
Exactly. I didn't see if Opus uses Seed yet. He'll have to use one before this battle.
I believe he did. I think he did it when he went to go heal. He's got to heal up right before the boss. He actually did it a couple battles ago, apparently, because he had 2 wizard spells left there. Maybe he did it at the same point that you would do it if you were only level 15.
Well, as long as you use one after the first battle, you're fine.
Pretty much.
It doesn't matter when, so. And then you want to do it again before the boss fight anyway, so.
Mostly you just do it whenever you need to pause and go heal.
Don't let him. Don't let him fight.
Did she get confused there or something? Why didn't she,
I blinked. I didn't see.
So he's going to go for that offensive heal, which inflicts a status effect on Dullahan, which might be paralyzed. Looks like it was a paralyze. Yeah, that's very nice. It's only 1 round paralyzed, but that's still nice.
I've seen it last like up to 3 turns before.
There's another successful paralyze. He's just going to keep trying to keep it paralyzed locked like this.
And this isn't a bad strategy, because Kaylee can only do about 715 damage a turn. With her axe or with her arrow spell. Unless she crits with her axe.
I tend to prefer, actually, attacking and healing with her, but you can get a little lucky like this and just keep getting the paralyzed lock.
He used defend with Kaylee on turn 1.
Oh.
He used the strategy I accidentally used the one time.
Yeah, I think he accidentally used it too, because on the previous fight he only got the 2 vampires, so he did a meteor defend.
That's exactly what happened to me.
And fcoughlin just died to Ghidra. Looked like Ben got paralyzed, and then I see what happened. He's trying to AoE in the first round, which gets you a little bit of incidental damage on Ghidra, but it can go really poorly if bad status effects happen.
He didn't make it level 16 either.
Yeah.
That was a really clean...
Down goes Dullahan. That was an extremely clean Dullahan. I could not ask for a better fight than that. Opus expands his lead. At this point, he has enough of a lead that he shouldn't be too concerned about what floor he gets.
I mean, I would still be concerned.
I'd still be concerned, especially if he's not paying attention with if he doesn't know how far ahead he is.
So this is part of the run where he gets the big
auto
big key chest, right?
And then Kaylee gets petrified. This is really dangerous.
You think he'll live through that?
Okay, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. 6 health, no problem. Not even close. Damage numbers are actually not random at all in this game. Oh no, now he's not fine.
Oh no.
Oh no. And the Quake is actually the thing that kills you if you're 612 damage. And so even if he was full health, he would have died to that. That was 1 arrow away from finishing that fight. Meanwhile in chat, we have Opus entering Pazuzu's tower. What floor will Pazuzu teleport to? It can be 1, 2, 4, 5, or 6. We talk to him on floor 3, he will teleport to one of the other floors besides floor 7. What are the chances of Opus getting a sub 2? I think he's a little behind where you would expect to be entering Pazuzu's tower for floor 2. But I could double check. Be on the dance floor.
If he's 2 minutes faster than his PB, then that would put him at a 203.
Yeah, Opus's PB is a 205.
Hi, bird. Bye, bird.
Yeah, we have some jerk birds in this place. And we have more of these innate reflect enemies in the beholders here. Again, they're weak to bombs. They also really like to blind Kaylee.
Which is fine. Leaving her on auto during that battle will have her use up all of the heal potions in your inventory if she gets blinded, and we need to get rid of all of her heal potions, so it kind of just works out. Alright, get you. That should do it. Yeah.
I guess I take that back. Opus could be on, if he has a really good rest of the game, he could hit a sub 2 with this, this pace. but it would be really tight. I don't know how his Doom Castle was on his PB, but there's a lot of opportunity for RNG to help or hurt you in Doom Castle. Largely tied to whether or not you're outspeeding enemies.
Yeah, now these beholders, doesn't matter if there's 2 or 3, the fastest method of taking them out is to bomb them, X them on the first turn, and then bomb them again. Now, Pazuzu's Tower, we go up. We go up 2 floors at a time, so we start at 1 and make our way up to 7. And then we come back down 1 floor at a time, finding out where Pazuzu ended up at, and try to lock him in place using switches. Yep.
You also have to go up and then come back down in order to access the switches that lock the elevators. If you have not locked the elevators above and below him, he will teleport away from you, which means he also always teleports away from even-numbered floor, except for floor 6 because he cannot go up to floor 7. Interesting Opus take. There's 2 strats to deal with this triple jerkbird fight. You can either go with the single target them down, or you can go for a AoE strategy again. I actually prefer on those to go for the AoE because they don't tend to do much damage.
I actually usually single target them because I'm not worried about experience anymore.
Yeah, you're not usually worried about experience anymore, but
So Opus is what we affectionately refer to as the Hellway.
And you're about to see why it's the Hellway, because Kaylee just got petrified. He is very unlikely to finish this battle. Yep, there he's dying to the Hellway.
There are 3 battles against these 3 Sphinxes, and that can happen on all 3 of them. Manticores, they're called Manticores, sorry.
Looks like he got it the second time around, but yeah, all 3 of these fights are triple Manticore. And the reason Manticores are really dangerous is A, Kaylee cannot one-shot them except with life, which can miss. And
Ben can't one-shot them without exit, which can miss.
Yep. And B, they hit like trucks, especially on Ben. They do a lot of elemental attacks that Ben has no resistances to.
Nor Kaylee, for that matter, because they have fire, and Kaylee doesn't have fire resistance.
Yeah, Kaylee doesn't have fire resistance. You're generally okay if they're targeting Kaylee with fire. But, you know, Ben's taking over half of his health and damage in anything that targets him. So it's easy to see how he can go down really quickly. They also have a Petrify attack. It's also a little bit easy to accidentally life Ben instead of lifing the Manticore on the second round. Because on the first round, for whatever reason, it remembers that you're trying to use life offensively. But then later in the fight, you use life offensively on a particular target the previous turn, and it doesn't remember it on the next turn. It defaults to Ben if the target is dead. Another thing that we didn't talk about earlier is weapon switching. Most of the time, you are locked out of switching your weapon while you're trying to do other things. And so there's only a few windows that you can switch your weapon without stopping doing everything else. And that is in the screen transitions right before and after battles, or when you're changing maps. So if you're really interested in just trying to push your limits, and I've seen Opus do it a number of times, you really want to try to switch your weapons during a transition to whatever you need for the next battle or whatever.
The window that the game allows you to put in that input is really strange too. I've had some times where I go to push it and it doesn't work, and then I keep trying, and then it switches 3 times.
We have fcoughlin just heading up to his Dullahan fight. Let's see if he can get some decent RNG on this fight, because Dullahan can be pretty rude with Doom Dances. We saw Opus keep him almost entirely locked down with the paralysis from heal, but that's not even guaranteed to work. So you tend to keep Kaylee prioritized on casting healing spells to keep herself and the hero alive.
This is why I think defending the first turn might actually be a good idea, because we're just in a cycle now where Benjamin takes a lot of damage.
Those vampires could confuse Kaylee. So...
That's why I said might.
He's actually going to go and try to use the seed preemptively on the one turn that he kind of has that Kaylee's getting a free action on.
I've done that.
He only had 1 meteor remaining there.
I've done that.
So that's a good call. But,
as I mentioned before, he is the main damage dealer in this fight. He does over twice the amount of damage Kaylee does. Yeah, because Kaylee doesn't have any, isn't taking advantage of any weaknesses like she is in other fights. There's something that's happened there on Fred's side we didn't mention before. When you're on auto, the command for the partner character is not determined until it is their turn to act. Also, if your character dies and is revived, and then it's his turn, you will still get your action off. One of the advantages of switching to auto.
And looks like he's very close to finishing off, and he's going to try to finish it off with not recovering his meteors a second time, because Dullahan is very low in health. I think one more hit will do it.
Needs to be careful. Ooh, he's going for it.
Yeah, I think he's got it correct. Uh-oh. He's going to go for it. He's going to go for it.
There's no way he's not dead, right? Good.
Yeah.
Hit him like 4 times in that phase.
And we have, on the other side, we have Opus about to pick up Flare, which actually changes how you do most of the fights in this place, because it is really powerful.
It is by far the strongest spell in the game.
Yep. Ben can now one-shot any combination of 2 enemies except for the innate reflect beholders in Pazuzu's tower. And so we'll mostly see Kaylee using supportive arrow to single target something down. Meanwhile, this is also your last chance to guess what floor Pazuzu's on. Is he going to be on floor 6? If he is, we get some PogChamps in here. Otherwise, we get some Baby Rages. Which will it be, PogChamp or Baby Rage? After we hit the switch, he's going to go and see if it's on floor 6. It is not!
I already guessed tile room, so...
Tile room, is that floor 2?
I don't know. This is Link to the Past.
I am aware. It sounds like floor 2, though.
Sure. Hadn't thought that far ahead. I just guessed tile.
No, tile room can't be equivalent to floor 1. I guess it could be, because you check it last, but it's also right there. No, you actually... floor 1, even though you could theoretically backtrack and check it, it's actually the second fastest floor.
Not 5.
Yeah, it's not 5. Why is there an old man in this race?
It's a floor 3.
Floor 3, but he's not actually on floor 3. Because he teleports away from floor 3, so he can't actually be on floor 3. That's true. One bird is an asshole because of his cowardice, the other because of Doom Dance. Yeah, that's why I was going for Tower and being floor 2. Because it's the worst. It's always the one you're... The one that you're dreading. Do we have a floor 4 yet? I didn't see. Nope, not a floor 4. So it's either a 1 or a 2 at this point. If it's a 1, he's going to be pretty happy. If it's a 2, he's going to be really, really sad. There's not really gambling on any floor, to be honest. Oh, I see. Well, the thing is, you can't gamble on a floor 1 either. Floor 1 is always going to be the second fastest.
Well,
you go up,
theoretically,
you come down.
Technically, you could skip the floor 6 switch.
You could skip the floor 6 switch and gamble on a floor 1.
Or 2.
Or 2.
Those are the only 2.
That's much of a gamble.
The only 2.
You're saving 2 very fast fights that you can flare your way through.
Floor 2.
Oh, it's the floor 2. Let's get some more baby rage.
Alright, who wished for floor 2 on him? I know somebody did.
Or if you have a Mega sub, you can do a Megas floor 2. Because he did just get wrecked. There are... So for the other floors, you have somewhere between 12 and 16 additional fights after swinging that floor 2 switch. Floor 2, you have a lot of extra fights, like a bazillion, approximately. That said, he's still substantially ahead of fcoughlin, so he might still be okay with this floor 2. But anyone who's rooting for Fred, this is your hope. He's not sure. He's making sure. Making sure. He also, now he goes up to hit the floor 4 switch. Because he didn't do that before, because you're not taking these 2 additional fights unless you need them to hit the floor 4 switch.
If he's on floor 1, you just hit... After he hit that floor 2 switch, he would exit out of the dungeon and just go talk to him.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. If fcoughlin loses this, then I believe he is guaranteed to not advance through the bracket stage, or through the group stages. Because I think this is his third, or his second fight. He lost to me. No, it's theoretically possible that we end up in a 3-way tie for second place. So that's not entirely true. fcoughlin is not guaranteed to be out of this, although his fate will no longer be entirely in his own hands. I am in the same group as these 2. And I lost to Opus, but beat fcoughlin.
Chief Blau talking about Kaylee being petrified. I wonder if he's talking about his own run or about Fred's run.
Yeah. Dear Manticores, please stop petrifying Kaylee. That's generally what you're saying, period, here. This is why it's the Hellway. Kaylee can get petrified, or the hero can just get focused down and then leave Kaylee alone to take some single target quakes that do a ton of damage.
I believe the way tiebreakers are determined are by the player's fastest speed.
Is it fastest speed or is it average speed? I'm not even sure.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not going to answer because I don't know.
Fiesel will have to be the one to answer that question.
Fred roots for himself. That's true. And we've got Opus clearing his way to talk to Pazuzu on floor 2, which isn't good enough. Pazuzu will then teleport away from him to floor 3.
See, I told you to be a floor 3.
Which you then route all the way back downstairs, go back to floor 1 through the little hookshot hook that's there, and then walk back up to floor 3 the way that you did at the start of the dungeon.
We're getting back into battles where we cannot use flare.
Yeah, unfortunately, all of the Thanatos formations on this floor are that type of Beholder Thanatos Manticore, which is like the worst formation in the entire tower because you cannot flare, and it has a Manticore in it. Thanatos can Doom Dance. It's just awful. It's yet another reason why floor 2 is so bad, because not only are you fighting way more encounters than every other floor, but you're also you're fighting really bad formations for a lot of these fights. Interestingly, I think this last Thanatos you can skip by doing a little clever jump from this little mini stairway, and he doesn't seem to know about it.
Wait, really?
Yes, you can actually jump across that one tile there from the little stairs up. You jump right, and then you're past this fight.
Oh. I would have thought that the wall would be in the way, but okay. So I guess stairs consider you to be on the upper elevation?
I think it considers you to be on both elevations at the same time or something, or maybe it does consider you to be on the upper elevation. But for whatever reason, it allows you to do that hop. So now he's going to go back downstairs. He's going to hook across, and Pazuzu's going to be on floor 3. Meanwhile, we have Fred almost done with floor 7. He did do the hop there.
Which I also didn't know about, so...
I did say that Opus was far enough ahead that he doesn't have to be too worried about his floor. Even if fcoughlin gets a floor 6 at this point, he's 5 encounters behind or so. 6 encounters behind.
Ooh, that's not looking good.
That's very no, this is almost a guaranteed wipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zuzu's not messing around today.
He is not. He wants
floor
this to be a
2,
close race.
Oh my goodness. Zuzu, please.
Wow. At least he has full health this time that he's trying to heal Kaylee, so it's only Sky Attack that will one-shot him. And this turn, Pazuzu will put up his spell-reflecting Psych Shield for a turn. Which also means that he always goes last. So sometimes, depending on your own health, you can play a little risky on that turn because you know that he'll go last.
Gotta be careful leaving Kaylee on auto on that turn. I don't know what makes her do it, but she can cast auto and reflect it onto herself.
Yeah, she can also outspeed if you cast it manually. Oh, Kaylee's getting dangerously low in health here.
Yeah.
I think we'll see him do a manual AoE cure. Yep. Because you want to top off the hero at the same time as you're curing her. Actually gonna go for an attack here. Interesting. And again, this is where he knew that Pazuzu was output of Psych Shield, so even though Ben was really low, he knew the flare would resolve. And he's okay with just spending this turn to res, because
Fred,
Pazuzu's got the reflection up anyway.
Or 6!
Oh, we have a race!
So this just got a lot more interesting.
Let's get those Pog champs! We got a floor 6! And it's a good thing too, because Opus is just finishing off Pazuzu now. There it is, the last flare.
See if Fred has a little bit more luck with the fight.
Yeah, Opus had a pretty reasonable fight. There were some scary spots. Obviously, he did have that one quick wipe at the beginning. But overall, like, the second try, things went alright.
The hero is going to reach at least level 21, pretty much no matter what. And that's, as long as he's between 21 and 23, we have everything's...
on the fight itself, it's not too big of a deal. Most of Pazuzu's attacks do more than 50% of Ben's health anyway. I think there is that particular combination of attacks that he just took where Ben can die, where he might not have died if he was level 20. But for the most part, you're almost never level 20. You're actually never level 20 on a floor 6 Pazuzu. So you just have to kind of suck up the fact that you were a little more squishy. If you're level 18, then you have one fewer wizard spell. Actually, even 19, you have one fewer wizard spell cast. But for the most part, you can just play around that, because you have to have these turns off where he has Psych Shield up anyway.
On Opus' side, we have our Resident Sandwich properly demonstrating proper bomb usage.
Yep. It's the one thing he could do competently. We also saw the second half of the inventory glitch there, where he glitched the Thunder Rock into his inventory. It's important to do that after you get Ruben in your party, and not before, because otherwise Kaylee will not be standing over there on the left, you will not be able to talk to her, and she will not give you the captain's cap, which is the true goal of this game, is to get this guy his hat back. And it looks like fcoughlin having a fairly good Pazuzu fight, because it is in critical health and just putting up that Psych Shield. Looks like he did a basic attack there. But it was not good enough. Is he gonna go for the risk? He shouldn't. Because Kaylee outspeeds. Good. I think this last flare is it for fcoughlin. You better hope it is. Oh, that is a scary way to end that fight.
Is every one of his boss fights just been that close?
I don't remember whether Gidra was. Or Dullahan, but Ice Golem was definitely that close.
Opus getting that terrible, terrible encounter over there. Thanatos, Beholder, and...
Because Ruben has no single target attacks, you just cannot deal with that formation very effectively. You can try to life it down, but it's pretty messy.
I mean, yeah, you could go with the life arrow strategy.
Life single target arrow and then bomb the last thing.
It's just significantly slower than resetting.
And the two Thanatoses is much more common of a formation, and you can just do a flare and a defend with Ruben to make sure that nothing happens to the hero before he gets off that flare. Like that Doom Dance. That's the type of thing that could happen to the hero.
I always find it funny that when you get Ruben at this point of the game, he is the same level that Kaylee was in, and you got her 3 dungeons ago?
Yep. And furthermore, he's overall less powerful. I think he has a slightly weaker basic attack, and he only has White and Thunder as like offensive magic that is worth anything, as opposed to Kaylee's arrow, which was about as... It's a little less powerful than White, but almost everything is weak to it at this area of the game, including in this dungeon. So he'll pick up the Gaia armor there, and he'll give this guy his hat back. And apparently Kaylee followed you into the ship, because she didn't trust Ruben at being anything but useless, which is probably good. And there, Ruben spins around and falls down.
Just doing a little dance. Just tripped himself up a little bit.
And then, annoyingly, Tristram shows up with a boombox, and then walks off. He's not here to do anything, he's just here to, like...
If he would just drop the boombox, he'd probably hit any of his enemies. I don't know why he carries that thing around everywhere with him.
There
is
the final Jerkbird is yet to come. So there is absolutely something that can ruin a run at the point Opus is at. And it is mostly RNG based.
I'm wondering if he is watching the race and knows he's ahead. May determine if he picks up Aegis Shield or not.
It's true. I would pick up Aegis Shield if I were paying attention to where my opponent was, because it reduces the ways that RNG can screw you over in Doom Castle. Yeah, it's a bird turgler. I like that one. fcoughlin having a little tough time against that double Chimera fight. Getting the hero first paralyzed and then petrified before Ruben finally solos the enemies down. And you wonder why we consider Ruben to be useless. In general, the male sidekicks in this game are garbage, and the female sidekicks carry the heck out of you.
Now, the Shadows that Opus is fighting there, he multi-targeted both of his spells, and the main reason you want to multi-target instead of picking one off is that they can clone themselves, making the fight even longer. But they can't clone themselves, because there's nowhere to put them.
It looks like he's not going to go for that Aegis Shield, though. The Aegis Shield is in the bottom right there. You do have to do a second loop around, but you only have to do one additional fight to get the Aegis Shield. It costs about 1 minute to grab it.
Right, so the Skull Restricts, the Flame of Six Street Fight, they didn't put death resistance on him, so bye.
Yeah, so he can be either lifed or exited. Yeah, the Morning Star counts as an axe. In terms of what types of enemies are weak to it.
Mainly trees and worms, as far as I can recall.
Your wife carried you for 4 years now. Does Mystic Quest represent real life? You could say that.
Oh, and Crab, right. As I read the rest of his sentence, yes.
Looks like Opus is about to make a little executioner. He doesn't have the claw. This is one of the areas that you actually need the claw on to get the one-shot. And it's particularly annoying because the shadow just multiplied itself.
I wish White's probably more effective there, too. But whatever.
The single target thunder plus claw flare limits the number of enemy actions.
Just as far as the shadows remaining were concerned.
Oh. Thunder has a faster animation, maybe that's why he went for that.
Possibly. Alright, so, in Doom Castle, we get a lot of fighting old enemies that are low level.
And this also means a lot of first strikes, especially in this first half of the dungeon.
Typically, they just throw enemies from, like, for this area, for instance, from the Ice Pyramid, and then just throw a Shadow or a Cerberus on the side.
There's also a lot of these Sthenos, which are a Medusa mini-boss recolor. They'll actually petrify you if you attempt to hit them with a melee attack.
I did not know that.
Yep, they have a counter-petrify if you touch them. And we have fcoughlin about to enter Doom Castle himself. We also have some pretty excellent music here.
Oh yeah, I forgot because I can't hear it. Doom Castle's my favorite track in this game. We got a slight preview of this earlier when we came to pick up the arrow stuff. But especially at the part that Opus is now, you get to hear probably a full loop of the track.
Yeah, because he's about to walk all the way around after hitting that last switch. There's a lot of areas where you can be a little careless and miss a switch in this area, so you have to make sure that you're doing this area correctly, or else you have to do a lot of extra walking. That's actually one that you don't have to hit, though.
Right.
It might reduce steps on the way out if you do.
I don't think it does.
Okay. Yeah, missing a switch, like particularly this switch on the right there that he just walked past, or the switch on the far upper right, you have to loop all the way back around to get back to that switch, and it is a pain. Again, this stone golem coming up, which is the ice golem refight, does not have exit resistance. And it looks like fcoughlin having a little trouble because Phoebe got doom danced.
Yes.
And now he's only gonna... Oh, he managed to clear the fight. Wow. I didn't realize that triple flare would clear the fight, but I guess the shadow that multiplied itself had been injured.
Yes, he started by using a multicast thunder.
Oh, instead of a single target by accident. I see. Yep. And meanwhile, Opus, paying for not picking up the Aegis shield there, he just lost the fight due to petrify.
Well, Ice Golem has any Stone Golem has any number of ways of just killing you. Usually just by one-shotting Benjamin. Because that's something he can do.
It's actually common to have... one strategy here is to do Phoebe on auto for that first round. And Ben casting exit. That way, if that does happen, Phoebe will pick up Ben before his turn comes up. And as we discussed earlier, if you input a command, die, and then get rezzed before your turn comes up, you continue doing your action as if nothing went wrong. Which is an interesting mechanic in this game. that the speed run happens to take advantage of a handful of times. Also, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why, but Cerberuses are weak to fire, and you can see some of the biggest damage numbers in the game on them. If you flare a single target Cerberus, it does over 4,000 damage.
Yeah. Even when there's 3 of them, Flare will take all 3 of them out.
Yep, by itself. Even though they're one of the strongest normal enemies in the game. I'm also not sure why Cerberus would be weak to fire, but it is.
Beast type enemy, weak to fire. That makes sense, right?
Sure.
That exists in games, right?
Dark King has much bigger damage. That's true. When you're glitching Dark King, you do see bigger damage numbers. This game doesn't even have a 9999 damage cap the way you would expect most of these older Final Fantasies to have.
Well, I mean, nothing you can do does that much damage. Why would they bother programming it?
That's true. Oh, this could be...
That's interesting to even bother using the white.
Yeah, normally you defend there so that the Petrify gets redirected to Phoebe. But she managed to clean it up with a second white. Guarding the underworld traumatized him of flames. That's as good of a reason as I've heard. I hope fcoughlин's bribe to Zoo. And we still have Twin-Head Wyvern, who can also cause some serious headaches. Because neither character is resistant to fire.
Fred's getting turned around here.
Phoebe can get 2-shot here, despite having almost 1,500 health.
She can get 1 shot.
1 shot by a critical hit. Also, her being poisoned is actually the chip damage she takes from poison is relevant. She also never outspeeds Twin-Head Wyvern, who is particularly fast.
Well,
which means you have to be pretty careful about healing because you can't rely on those heals to come before the boss's turn.
So many mega subs have I seen in here. I haven't seen a single Wyvern yet. What's going on?
Here, I'll throw one out for you. Although once he loses 1 head, he stops spitting fireballs and switches to thunders.
Not necessarily
which you are resistant to. Really?
I have seen him use fire.
I think it must just modify the AI so that he's less likely to use fireball then.
I've definitely seen it after the head got chopped off. I didn't see it after that, but
I think he can. I think if he had it, I think he just decide at the beginning of the turn rather than when his turn comes up. So I think it's possible to chop it off, but I'm pretty sure that once he starts a turn with his oh wow, he didn't even go into the last animation mode before dying.
That happens a lot to me, actually.
So that was a very clean Twin-Head Wyvern. Or sorry, Twin-Head Wyvern. So we have Opus continues to be 1 floor ahead of fcoughlin. But we still have Zoo coming up, and also the 6th floor here is the longest of the side dungeons, or mini dungeons, or whatever you want to call them.
Plus, without the Aegis Shield, you can get held up on any of these fights.
Also true. Did anyone see whether fcoughlin picked up the Aegis Shield? I don't think he did.
Not. He didn't.
Okay. He probably feels a little behind just because he knows who his opponent is, and so maybe he feels like he needs every little time save or roll of the dice to gamble. I call it a gamble because you're deciding between, do I want to spend 1 minute picking up the shield or take the random amount of time loss from getting hit by a paralyze or petrify. And we have Opus getting into a little trouble, but he finishes the fight off. With Kaylee petrified.
I know I've pretty much lost one match already because I didn't go for the Aegis Shield.
I picked up shield in one of my matches because I had a substantial lead and I wanted to protect it from horrible things going wrong.
Though, in that match, I had so many things go wrong that any number of those things attributed to me losing.
How close was the match?
Minute 42nd.
Oh wow, that is within Aegis Shield's purview.
Yep, it was me versus Marsh, and he got a 4-6, I got a 4-5. There was a death at Ice Golem that I still say shouldn't have happened. Ice Golem outsped Phoebe on the last turn.
Yeah. It is worth noting, a lot of these bosses are less difficult casually, most notably because in this speedrun, the life spell is not anywhere in a dungeon that we enter. It is in the Lava Dome, which is in the dungeon with the fire crystal. And that's why we don't have life, so if our partner dies, we are boned.
And I'm not trying to like brag on Marsh or anything, it was a really, really good match if anybody saw it.
Another Aegis Shield preventable death for Opus.
Try going down to the library.
Got double petrified, meanwhile, yeah, Fred's... Ooh, did he cast Flare on his first turn there? That is... I don't think that clears the enemies.
Who are you talking about?
fcoughlin.
Flare is strong enough to kill the ads.
Okay.
It just does less damage to the wyvern.
He is dangerously low here and could easily wipe with this low health. Oh, but he actually... Oh, the auto's bad for him there. He wanted to manually cure. Because casting life means that Phoebe could die here.
If I were him,
she's not going to.
She's
right. Going to manage to get that heal off, and it is a monstrous heal. She can heal herself to full on an AoE cure from low health.
Actually, I saw a race. She only heals 1,465 of her health or something like that. There was actually a scenario where she did not full heal herself.
Wow. It's an interesting thing to know. And there's one of those crits that we were talking about does 1,500 damage from Twin Wyvern.
That's amazing.
He managed to get it to below half health, though, so he should be in okay shape. I believe that's the last arrow that he needs. Yep.
Yeah, it definitely should be. Considering you can kill him before he even goes down to that phase, so...
Yeah. I think he has, what is it, 5 phases instead of 4?
No, it's 4.
He has 4 phases.
Every major boss has 4 sprites.
It just seems like a lot because there's the one head with the other head chopped off, and then there's the one head by itself, and it...
Yeah, the other neck is just gone.
It's a little weird.
The other neck just disappears. We don't know where it goes. He never had it. You saw nothing.
And that's also supposed to be a refight, but we have no idea what it's a refight of.
Yeah, he's just in Nacho Cheese Land. I keep saying that Doom Castle is just like one huge resort or restaurant or something. You have like the beachfront property down at the bottom, and then the second floor you have the menu in the background.
Zoo, and one thing Zoo likes to do is he likes to dance.
Oh boy, does he ever. The bugged Psych Shield crit hit. Oh baby. So, he can use a move he's not supposed to use. He offensively uses Psych Shield, and there's a Doom Dance. It does 1 damage. Hey, there's the 1 damage section.
It's a bit of a consolation for him also spamming the crap out of Doom Dance. At any point, he can kill Phoebe, and that basically ends the fight. Because almost all of it, like, there's almost no chance that the hero can solo this fight.
It looks like our chat wants to pronounce it as Za, so I'm going to pronounce it as Za. Za from now on.
Well, I'm going to continue saying Zoo, because I've always said it's Zoo, because it's Zoo in every other game.
It is Zoo. It actually is Zoo, but for some reason they spelled it Za in this game.
It's having a pretty clean fight so far.
Yeah, opening with 3 strike shields helped that.
Yep. And there's a finish.
Nice.
He only changes his sprites when he's activating or deactivating Psych Shield, so we never actually saw him in the final injured phase, even though he had the correct amount of health. We're also actually going to jump down a floor. Because it's faster than spiraling all the way back out of that floor.
I mentioned that the major bosses only have 4 sprites. That is including his Psych Shield sprite. He only has 3 phases.
Okay.
He only has 3 phases. The 4th sprite is when he's using Psych Shield.
Okay. So yeah, it's pretty unlikely at this point for Dark King to troll. Dark King is mostly just a pushover that you glitch with the Cure spell, because our magic value is sufficiently low on the hero that it doesn't properly heal when we target the boss.
Can we talk about how amazing Opus' time is for a 4-2?
That is pretty dang good time for a floor 2.
He's gonna get like 1 minute within my PB.
Oh, Phoebe goes down though. That can actually cause a wipe here if
and this is only 2 minutes slower than his
something bad happens here. Why is he casting Flare?
I think he's given up on this fight. Maybe he knows something I don't. I don't know.
No, I think that was just incorrect. Didn't he get both spells off last turn? One more cure would have finished it? Or maybe Phoebe's... I don't know if Phoebe's cure went off. I don't know what happened. Anyway. He gets a second time around. And the Cure Bow, which costs an extra like 15 seconds because he goes into his final animation transition. And that's time! Do you have the IRC open?
Yes, I do. Opus finishes with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 33 seconds. Which is an amazing floor 2 time.
That is better than my PB as well. It's also only 3 minutes more than his PB on a floor 2.
Yeah.
So that was a very good run for him. fcoughlin, I think he might be PBing here too.
I have no idea what his PB is, to be honest.
The world record is 1 hour, 52 minutes and something.
56 seconds, I think.
56 seconds? Yeah,
it's definitely a high 52.
It's by Almagus. And it is like 6 minutes faster than the second place time.
About 4.
Oh, 4 minutes faster?
Slightly more than 4. Because I think DDR Noob has a 158. Or So yeah, that'll be 5 minutes.
Yeah, 1:58 flat, so 5 minutes faster than the second place time. And he just got it during a race. Because nobody actually grinds for PBs in this game, other than when you're trying to break sub 2, then you grind for PBs.
Fred's PB is at 2:13.56. Probably not hitting that.
He's 50 seconds ahead at Twin Head Wyvern. So he's in range.
Right, but he's not had very good luck on this floor.
Zoo's where most of the luck on this floor matters, and he's about to enter that fight. That fight can easily take under 3 minutes if it goes well.
Right.
Like, even if he just has the same fight as Opus did, where it just kind of goes mostly clean, and he gets a couple of those psych shields, and Phoebe's allowed to cast White instead of Cure.
Flare Thunder's an interesting...
Uh-oh. That's a rough start.
Yeah, Flare
He should cast White here before carrying on with the fight, just to get that Chimera out of the way so this doesn't happen again. And that's what he does. Oh, but the Sky attack lands. Oh. I don't know if he knows, but you actually have to switch weapon after you die, because the stats from the current weapon you're equipping go away if you retry a fight.
Is the damage enough to matter?
I don't think it's enough to matter on Zoo specifically. But if you're going for like the speed from the sword on that first turn... I believe that's getting Zoo down to half health. Yep. Interestingly, being a bird, Zoo is weak to Phoebe's arrows. She can get 1700 damage crits here with her bow, which isn't much worse than her... Yeah, there it is, the 1700 damage crit. He did the attack there because Phoebe can sometimes outspeed Zoo. He didn't want to get the white reflected. Getting the crit there means that he's not really losing damage,
that was
and
nice.
He gets the kill right there. So he's just barely not going to PB due to that wipe at the beginning, but he's going to be quite close. Yeah, most of the enemies in the wind. Like, that's also true of the Windia section of the game, that most of the enemies are weak to wind.
My grid just split is just titled Tornado Watch. You use wind, Kaylee uses wind, Gidra uses wind.
Whew.
My favorite is when you hear that 3 times in a round.
Yep. On the boss fights there.
I am not sure. I don't have a runner in my waiting room, so I don't know if we're getting any interviews.
I'll ask him. Looks like we're going to get Opus in here any moment, while fcoughlин's finishing up his race.
Hey, guys.
Hello there, good sir. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just want to say that was an absolutely amazing time for a floor 2.
Thank you.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
I was really bummed.
Yeah, we saw you pause as soon as you saw it.
I was like, harsh swallow, like that gulp. God damn, like gosh darn it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it happens. It's okay. It was a really good run.
Yeah, because you had it was like a 38-30 coming out of Ice Golem fight.
Yeah,
which
that was
is
amazing.
ridiculous.
It's a really good fight. All my fights went really well that time. I was surprised.
Yeah,
Usually,
they did.
like, yeah. Congrats to Fred.
Yeah, he's finishing up his run right
Yeah.
now.
He had a really unfortunate death to Kirbo, which also triggered a transformation sequence, which you still have to watch even as you lie dead on the floor.
Mhm.
And there's time for him. So what parts of that run were you happy about?
Definitely the tree. I had a lot of good encounters there. A lot of 2-worm encounters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you also didn't get very many of the worm ooze encounters.
Yeah, definitely. That was nice. Honestly, like, I think the whole run was really good. I had a good good exit grind, good, ice pyramid.
Everything except what floor Pazuzu was on was very good, and that's kind of, I mean, evidenced by the fact that you managed a 208 with Pazuzu on floor 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, after I got Flare and realized I got think at floor 6, a lot of the battles started to turn into like annoying ones to deal with. Like ones like Beholder in it, so you can't actually use Flare, so you have to.
Yeah, especially on floor 2, all the Thanatos encounters on floor 2 are like that, where you can't use Flare.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was good. A lot better than many other runs I've had recently. I was getting a little discouraged because I was getting destroyed by RNG. I've had like 2 10+ runs, not even my fault. So, so that was good. It was a good change of pace.
Now I had a couple questions. Your seed route in the Wintry Cave, was that on purpose? Because you used the seed with what you used the seed when you still had a wizard charge left.
In the Wintry Cavern?
Yes.
I didn't
3 battles before the boss.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I was just flustered because I accidentally used one on Benjamin. I was like, oh, okay. So then, like, if something happens, usually I kind of like, it turns like a snowball effect where I just keep screwing little things up here and there.
Yeah, I saw you duped an extra one in response to that, and then you just carried on.
Yeah. So it was just like nervousness, I guess. I'm not sure why I did that.
Yeah. And Fred actually did the Quake, or the not Quake strats that were being discussed recently.
Yeah, I know DDR was talking about that. It's cool.
Yeah, he got 3 triple formations in the Bone Dungeon, so he duped an extra seed, and then he just carried on with that to do the Quakeless route, which it looked like he was familiar enough to execute correctly.
That's cool. Yeah, I never actually practiced that, but that seems like a good idea.
I'll have to ask if he's actually practiced it, or if he just like saw the opportunity to implement it and just ran with it based on the discussion and what he knew of from the discussion. If we can get him in here.
It looks like Teef also did Quakeless in his side run. Oh, another thing, going into the Dullahan fight, and this is something I did in one of my runs, I was wondering if you did it, or was it a complete accident? You defended on turn 1?
Yep, that was a complete accident.
Okay. It worked out really well for you, and it also worked out really well for me.
I was so happy. I was like, nothing happened.
I think it was because the previous encounter was a 2 enemy formation, so you had already defended on that one, and then you just held A, and then it was like, oops, I wasn't on the standard arrow meteor.
Yep, exactly. I made a few mistakes, 2 face palms.
Oh yeah, it was that's something that was brought. Sorry for interrupting you. It was brought up. The floor 2, going up to Pazuzu on floor 2. Apparently, you can skip that last fight by jumping. It's something I didn't know. It was mentioned.
Oh wait, which I'm trying to think.
So you're like going up the little stairs to where Pazuzu is on floor 2, and then there's the one Thanatos there. You can actually jump over that little.
Oh, I totally forgot.
Wall there.
I totally forgot.
Yeah, because nobody practices floor 2, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it was really funny because when you went down to floor 1, you then jumped onto the stairs.
Yeah, you actually did the same type of jump, just in a way that doesn't actually skip an encounter.
Yeah, I'm just all over the place. Sucks I missed one. Oh well.
It was just humorous.
And so yeah, anyone else doing a floor 2? When you have that terrible RNG, sometimes you just want to learn floor 2 anyway so that you can bleed a little bit less time. And that was actually where you and fcoughlin was actually keeping pace with you in the early parts of the game until I want to say he had a really bad crab fight.
Oh, okay.
No, he died to Ice Golem twice.
Oh no, he died to Ice Golem twice. That's what it was, and then he got really far behind. Like he hit Ice Golem while you were still fighting Ice Golem, I think. Or he was 3 encounters behind in the pyramid, and then after that he was like.
Yeah, you blew ahead of him at that point.
You were really blowing ahead of him after those 2 deaths.
But then he had a 4-6.
Yeah, that's
like he was just getting to the tree with Tristram as you were entering it with Kaylee.
Wow. Okay.
And then after that, he got the floor 6, and he started the Pazuzu fight just as you were finishing it.
So that's good. I'm glad we were pretty close.
So it kind of turned it back into a race after it was really far apart.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad it worked out the way it did for the people watching, like getting floor 2 and floor 6, to see both routes, I guess, and it brought the times together. So that was cool.
Skipping Aegis Shield also worked out a lot better for you than it did for him. He had a really rough wind area in the tower.
Yeah, I skipped it because I got floor 2. I was like, you know what? Can't waste any more time. Just gotta go for it. But I don't really go for it anyway. But yeah, that was like, I'll definitely not get it at that point.
All right, look, I haven't gotten any response from fcoughlin, so it doesn't look like he'll hop in for an interview. But thank you for your time, Opus. If you want to say anything else.
No, just thank you guys for commentary. And thanks for thanks everyone for watching.
Remember to follow the runners. fcoughlin plays a lot of Zelda, and I don't actually know what else you play besides this, Opus.
Well, I haven't been playing much else. I'm playing Zelda. I play Zelda 2.
Oh, interesting. That game is a monstrously difficult game.
Oh yeah, it's a beast.
Let's see. What do we have coming up? There's a double race tomorrow. At 7 o'clock. Chief Blau and Natara and DDR and Riku. So both of those matches will be going on at the same time. And as far as other games are concerned, we have Pokemon Red tomorrow at 6 and Mega Man X3 at 9:30 on Speed Gaming 1. Yeah.
And of course, next week, SGDQ. So there won't be a huge amount of activity going on in speed gaming during SGDQ, I don't think. In fact, even the couple races for Mystic Quest tournament are happening during that week. There won't be a restream available. I believe Fiesel himself is at the event. But watch GDQ, as if we have to tell people that are tuning into speed gaming to watch GDQ. And thanks for watching.
Good stuff, guys. Cheers.